What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Gore here, and we are live once again on another Tuesday night. And guys, I've got a special guest going to be coming on here in just a few minutes. The one and only, you guys can see him right there, Mr. James Elam, but he'll be live here in just a minute. We're going to get him on the show. But before that, what's going on with everybody else? What's crack-a-lacking in everybody's world, man? Let's see who we got in here. We got Gary, what's happening? Dave Raleigh, how are you? Dan, good to see you. Okie, Sean, Adam, Melissa, Nathan, Patrick, Steve, what's happening? Guys, if you guys are just now tuning in, we're probably going to be doing some random giveaway stuff a little bit in the show, but also we'll do a giveaway going into next week. So if you guys are watching live, you just might get picked. The way you're going to get picked is make sure you're commenting in the comment section, smashing that like button. So we'll do one or two giveaways live tonight while we're on the air. And then I'll give something away next week, too, for the rebroadcasters. So, guys, keep active, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Just get going. We're going to have a good time. Who else we got in here? Of course, we got, like I said, Melissa Justice. Jesse's probably sure to follow. Rashawn Hunt, what's going on? You are in the building, at least electronically you are. Or in the building at your house, wherever you're at. Who else we got? Ricky, what's going on? Bob, what's happening? Milton, hello. Brandon Johnson, good to see you. Helen Jones, Jennifer Lude. We've got some past winners up in here tonight. It's going to be a good show, but you know what? Let's go ahead and bring on our special guest. Let's not keep him waiting any longer. James Elam, come on down. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How about you, AJ?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. So you finally wrapped up the season, huh? You're done? Are you like just, that's it? You're done till next year? You got other stuff going on? What's happening in your world?
Fishing wise, I'm pretty done. So October-ish, October 20th or so, I'm fishing a team series with Gerald Spohr for Major League Fishing. So got that on the slate. Other than that, man, just doing a bunch of stuff at home, getting stuff ready for next year. I sold my boat, last year's boat, ordered my new one. So here pretty soon. Hopefully we'll be getting that thing early and getting it ready and dialed in for next year, which is a lot of work in itself. So just doing stuff at home, man. Just a lot of things like that.
So you are getting a new boat for next year?
Yep.
Do you get a new boat every single year? Because I know in some it's like every 2 years. What is that standard like, say, in at least in the elite class that you're in or MLF or anything like that with?
Yeah, I get a new one every year. Just that just keeps, new equipment, new boats out on the water. It's also about displaying the newer products. I think Power Pole's coming out with a new product next year. So I'll, be running that and just little things like, Lowrance has updates on their, they're like Active Target 2, for instance, this year. So you're kind of staying fresh, new equipment, brand new stuff, and just staying like that and helping in that regard.
Now, boat-wise, just curious. I mean, granted, every year there's probably always some kind of new, fresh, hot electronic or some new addition like Power Poles or Raptor and all these other people always have these new additions. But boat-wise, could you stay with the same boat and just update it? Or does like Phoenix want you to do it every year because of your status in the MLF? Or could you do like 2-3 year minimum?
I just always and just Phoenix does a really good job with their pro anglers. I'll send all my parts there, and they'll put as much of that stuff on as they can, and just.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you keep a boat for 2 years, generally you're going to have a lot of hours on it in comparison to other 2-year-old boats that are out there on the market, and it becomes really a lot tougher to sell them. So it's just easier to do it every year, and they make little updates on their boats too. Like the 21XE that I ran this year had, a new instrument panel and a few new additions that made that boat a lot nicer. And they are also going to have a few new things for next year, new options, which I did get. So, for instance, they have a little flip up seat on the driver seat that is good for a short guy like me, because I can flip that up and I can just kind of cruise around 30 miles an hour and look at everything, how it's important to look sometimes when you're on the water.
So did you ask for a booster seat or
they offered
they
me
listened?
One. They knew I was short, so they offered me one. And Yeah, I was kind of on the fence about it, and they're like, "Well, we're gonna do it."
Really? So
Yeah,
is it something that you actually talked to them about, and they told?
yeah, yeah. So they, going to order my boat and kind of get an explanation on, what that new feature was, and decided to end up getting it. So that's
Cool.
just one of the little things. So you're kind of staying in that new realm. Every year you're running the latest and greatest equipment.
Right. That's kind of neat, though. I mean, that actually,
Yeah,
forgive me for making the joke about the booster seat, but it's true. Like, all my buddies make fun of me because I'm not like a granny driver in my truck with my seat forward, but dude, I'm not laid back. Like some people are stretched out and their arms are like this driving. I understand. I like to be a little bit closer to the steering wheel, so I get it. So booster seat helping, yeah, definitely.
Well, what I used to do is fold my knee, and put my leg under there every now and then when I wanted to sit up a little bit higher. So
Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sit up on your leg. I've done that before. I've done that cruising around on my boat, actually, now that I think about it. So you've got that there. I'm gonna have to get me a booster seat. So, but I don't think Champion's gonna be making any updates anytime soon. So
those are cool boats. What Champion do you have?
I got a 181.
Mm-hmm.
2181. I got my old Johnson 150 in there. Cliff always gives me hell, and he's like, "When are you gonna get a new boat? When are you gonna get a new outboard?" I'm like, "Dude, it's paid for, bro. Paid for." And knock on wood, she keeps kicking. I actually pulled a bonehead move this week and broke the skeg off of the outboard, and we took it out to wash it. I haven't fished all summer long. Took it out to the garage, washed it, started getting it all ready to go. I'm gonna start getting back into fishing. Took the summer off.
It's too hot. It's too hot,
dude. In Arizona, dude, I'm telling you, it was killing me. So it was nice to take a break. I've been hitting it hard for 10 years straight, and then this year I didn't intend to, but I just kind of did.
I know what the deal was. You started mountain biking.
I did actually too. I started mountain biking. The wife the wife and the buddy got me mountain biking like crazy. I lost 42 pounds so far.
I can tell.
And yeah, so I haven't had a whole lot of beer drinking either. So
yeah.
So I've done my share too, a time or two, but yeah. So I mean, it's just it helps, but I'm like, I got to get back out there. So I was back into the boat, back up into the garage, and I have to drop my outboard down to clear the motor for the garage door. And I did it in a little bit different way this time, and I barely hung that skeg, but it hit perfect, snapped it off, and I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? So it's getting a repair kit coming. Good. It's on the way. I feel like a bonehead, but hey, that's a great question to ask you. I mean, Bob wants to know what size motor you have, but before we get into that, and then you can answer what motor you're going to get, but then follow it up with what's the biggest bonehead move you've done on tour that you're willing to talk about?
Let me think about that for a second, the bonehead move, but because I'm sure
we all do it. It happens.
There's one that comes to mind that's just because of the skag, you knocking off that skag, which I've done that more than once, and it breaks your heart when you do it. I mean,
I thought I was going to do it in the water, not in my yard.
I know. I nursed a boat through a whole season and don't have any scratches on it or anything, and then boom, knock one of them off. I hate that, but I run a 250 Suzuki. They limit us on horsepower, so it's like everybody out there has a 250 that I fish against. That's just kind of the gold standard. And generally the gold standard is a 20-foot or 21-foot boat hole to go with that. If you get any bigger, 22-foot, or, if they started making bass boats bigger, you'd just be really slow. And you need a, whatever, 275 or 300, whatever they make. But we can't use them. So that's kind of like the gold standard. And that's a good size for bass fishing. If you get any bigger, it's just hard to maneuver in the shallow water and around docks and stuff like that.
And that's what I always tell people is a bass boat's nothing but a race boat with a deck on it, a fishing deck, really. So
yeah.
Gotta get to that hole first.
The first thing that popped in my mind about a boneheaded move was I was on the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. Yeah. Put my boat in, ran like 20 miles. Jumped in the boat real quick, took off, got out, in the middle of the bay, and my auto bilge pump kicks on. So I'm out there by myself. It's kind of dangerous jumping in the water, put the drain plug in by yourself, but I'd left the drain plug out, so I had to get in the water and swim down there and put it back in. Or I could have just kept driving and drove all the way back, and it probably would have been okay. But that's one of the things I've done. I've done that. I try to not do anything boneheaded. Most of my big are probably done before I started doing it professionally, but man, it happens.
It happens. Your mind is in a million places. You're not thinking, you're doing this and that. And especially if you're thinking about something else, but running through a repetitive motion with your mind somewhere else, that's when you end up, it happens. But it's funny that you talk about the drain plug. I've never done that. And I've been really anal about it for as long as I can remember until this year. You know, buddy of mine, Ricky Farley, aka the human forklift, I call him. Him and I were both. We have like this. We'll get out, and if one guy's getting the trolling motor all unstrapped and taking off the covers for the the graphs, then the other guy's dropping the outboard and then strapping it and putting the plug in. And we always just fill in wherever we need to fill in. And we get the boat launched, and we're cruising, getting out of the no wake zone, which is where we usually launch from our favorite lake. Is kind of a long run before you can actually hammer down. And so start going, and it's time to hammer down, and I start to hammer down on the throttle, and I'm like, man, she feels heavy and sluggish today. And I'm like, it's not right. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey man, did you put the plug in? He goes, I thought you put the plug in. And I'm like, son of a like, no. So we instantly beelined it right back, and I turned the bilge pump on, being an old champion, you know what I mean? I actually had to manually flip it on. And dude, it was shooting water like 5 feet out the boat. I was like, oh no, we got to go. So, but yeah, we got back, got to put in there. Oh, happens to everybody.
What if you would have dropped the keys in the water going up to the boat trailer and not been able to put it back on the trailer?
Don't talk like that.
You ever for that?
Well, I would have trolling motored it on the best I could, you know what I mean? And then just crank it in. But that's
truck keys.
Oh, the truck keys. Yeah. Well, see, I have a secondary key locked and hidden in the truck, so we're good.
What I do, man. And if somebody needed to come get you, like drive your truck somewhere, you can tell them where that's at and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing too, which is a good point to actually talk about with people. Like if you guys have a boat or something, if that ever happens to you, to me, if I drop my keys in the water and I know my plug's out of my boat, that's a bad case scenario. I'm going to run the boat aground up to the bank and just beach it as hard as I can and pump out or let it just fill to where it needs to fill before it keeps taking on. And then when it's time to get my other keys and it's time to get the thing back on, probably jump back in, plug it, and then pump it out and then move it. But yeah, so that would be how that worked. And it was a cold winter day too. So I'm glad I didn't have to jump in. So
but sometimes, in between those winter trips, like in Oklahoma, it probably doesn't freeze where you're at a lot, but you almost want to leave your plug in, because if you take it out and some of that water drains out and then starts draining real slow, and then the threads freeze up. So it's almost better to leave it in. You'll try to go put it in the next day, and you won't be able to thread it in, or you'll have to get a heat gun or something. And there's that, man. You hear about people, in the winter around here, you really want to back all the way down the ramp close to the water and then unlatch your boat, because your bunks could have frozen on the trailer or something. There could have been a water that froze there and it's really slick, and the boat will slide right off on the ramp.
Yeah, so that's what I always unstrap right there. So
and then good idea.
I actually have a horror story of a friend of mine who had a diesel truck. Ooh. And I do it too, but I'll come all the way down to the boat ramp, and then I'll turn right by the water and then go up and then back down, right? To make short use. He was coming down kind of fast, big lifted truck. And right as he was getting ready to make that turn, his serpentine belt broke. And he didn't know this at the time. But so as soon as he's getting ready to come down and make that turn, serpentine belt broke, no power steering. And then of course his brakes, hydraulic brake, or the brakes just got hard and everything, because when that breaks, it just doesn't work for everything, kind of goes to whack. And he had hydro boost on it. So the truck just kind of skid, and he slammed on the brakes because he couldn't turn. Then he got hit that wet, mossy ramp, and he just nosedived straight into the lake. Everything just went under. It was just a nightmare deal. And it turned out to be a serpentine belt broke. So I'm like, I usually don't come flying down the ramp, but I'm a lot slower now. And I'm always thinking, dude, wouldn't that suck? I mean, that's
bad timing.
That's horrible timing. But Sean wants to know, what's your take on that? This is actually going to be a question. Of course, I'm sure you got asked 100 times. But what's your take on the new forward-facing sonar regs? What's your plan? Do you rely on it, or is it nice to have, or you don't really use it that much? It's not a big deal. I know you use it. You and I have talked about it before, about forward-facing sonar and with some of the new line that we've got coming out that you can use with it. But what's your take? Explain some of the new rules for those that may not know that's changed, and how do you feel about it?
So the new rule, like in Major League Fishing, Bass Pro Tour, is going to be we can utilize forward-facing sonar, but only one period per tournament day, the way I understand it.
And you get to pick which one, right?
Yeah, you get to opt in which one you want to do and announce that. And then I think put a cover on your transducer in the other periods, I believe. And I need to read the whole rules, but that's from what my understanding is. I'm kind of more one of those guys that I'll show up and I'll find out. We'll find out what the rules are, and I'll play accordingly. I'm not going to sit here and gripe about it either way, because it's going to be the same for everybody. For me, in my perspective as a fisherman, I love fishing the days without it, and I love fishing the days since it showed up. And I feel like I've done a really good job kind of blending my fishing style before forward-facing sonar with the forward-facing sonar. But I do feel like sometimes maybe I don't do it enough and just go all in on it, which now that will be a good thing for me, I think, because, I'll probably try to plan accordingly and utilize it one whole period. And then the other periods kind of go back old school, doing what I used to do. I think also one of the key things with forward-facing sonar that people don't talk about a lot is the first thing I noticed about it is it's really effective for me to find fish during practice. I can see even when they're not biting. I can find brush piles way easier. I can find, it's like I'll side scan or down scan a point or something like that. Find a brush pile or two, set the troll motor down. There's actually 9 of them there. You'll see that stuff with forward-facing sonar, and we get to use it during practice. So there's
unlimited, right? Just nonstop.
Yeah. Okay. As far as like following them around, throwing a minnow at them and stuff like that, only one period, and I'm good with that. I think it's a good middle road if forward-facing sonar, we're utilizing the technology, but at the same time giving maybe viewers a little bit of variance throughout the day.
Yeah, a little more show of hunting, going out power fishing more, and
but it's gonna play still, and it's gonna be a big deal, just like it always has been. And I love using it, and but it's going to be more of a player in practice, like in more than it is at the tournament, because you're going to find a lot of fish with it, and revisit those areas and whatnot. Just have to go about a different way of catching them.
Okay. I got a question for me. Steve Yekel wants to know, how cold does it get in Arizona? Well, I have been in 1 degree weather here in Arizona, but of course,
really?
North. Yep, 1 degree, 3.5 foot of snow. And we've got areas people don't realize, but Arizona's got some of the craziest weather. Like we can have like just 0 degree weather, and we have some of the craziest high country. Like we have mountains that are 12,000 feet in Arizona, so of course that can get really cold and stuff. And I was at about 9,000 feet in December when that was 1 degree at like 11:30 in the morning. 3.5 foot of snow. That was cold. But where I live in Arizona, in Globe, it tends to, like today, I think it was like 85, but we had a cooling trend. It's supposed to be back in the 90s this weekend. But the coldest I've seen is 18 degrees here in my hometown. And then, of course, Roosevelt Lake, the lake that I fish primarily, is a little bit lower elevation. So it was probably in the low 20s that day. So it can get pretty nasty. So we got average of 30, 40 degree, lows in some of the winters for that area. So it can get cold, but not like, I know there's other states are like, that ain't cold. You don't know what cold is. But I was like,
That's
well,
pretty
come
cool.
down and experience 129-degree weather one day in Phoenix when it's super hot, or Yuma, and then you'll know what heat is. So
that's slightly worse than our heat in early July with the humidity, I bet.
Oh. Okay, so that's different though. So because I talk about it all the time, but humidity, like of course going to Orlando, for ICAST, I'm like, oh, it's only like 86, but geez, the humidity is awful. But then you come back to Arizona and it's 119 when you get off the plane, but dry heat with the humidity starting to pick up because of the monsoons. But when the monsoon season kicks, that humidity picks up pretty good, but it's different. But late June when it's 121 degrees in Phoenix and there's a wind, dude, you feel like you're standing behind a jet. It's awful.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's bad. So, James, can you see any of the comments that are on the comment section? Can you see them?
I don't see any right now.
You don't see any? Because I haven't posted, so you don't have that running?
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay.
I was seeing them before.
See, yeah, so I can like pop a comment up, like now you can see that comment, right?
Yeah.
But you don't see the comment feed. Okay. I was going to have you pick out a live winner to give something away. So what I'm going to do right now is I was going to have you do it, but since you can't see, that makes people feel real special when Sir James does it. So, but all right. So we're going to give away some tungsten, some new Mad Bite tungsten right now. Let's see here. So it looks like, the first one that popped up in my thing here is Gail. Gail says it's never too hot to fish. Gail, I don't know if you have me on Facebook, but if you don't, give me an ad. Hit me up on Facebook Messenger. I'm writing your name down right now. And you get to pick out some Mad Bite tungsten off our website, and I'm going to send it to you. So I'm writing this down. You are a winner for tonight so far. We're going to give one more winner away here a little bit later before I let you go, James. But yeah, have you seen any of the Mad Bite tungsten? Do you have a tungsten sponsor before I get into that?
I do. It's Mustad.
Okay, so we won't get into that too much, but we got some nice tungsten, man. I know Mustad does too. So we won't get into that. So
AJ, so I had to tell you this. I just got a pellet grill. Since you're the grill master, Bertrand said the grill master, right? You still grilling a lot?
I still grill. I still do some smoking and do this, but I tell you what, you guys are doing it a lot more, especially on tour. And you guys are cooking up some great stuff, which was going to be a question I was going to ask you. So we'll lead into that segue. Tell me about this pellet grill, and then I got to know what you had for dinner.
Oh, I bought a Rec Tech. We got the Backyard Beast. It's kind of like not a mid-size, but a little bit bigger than that, but not the biggest one. And finally bit the bullet and got one of those and joined the pellet grill mafia, or whatever you want to call it. I always cooked on just wood fire, and I still have that and I'll still use it. But our first thing that we made was a bacon wrapped tenderloin, pork tenderloin, and it was very good. And I made it with a seasoning that I'm going to send to you. I've got an order of it coming in tomorrow. I just need you to text me your address.
Sure.
This is my buddy's stuff. It's Phil's seasoning. But I add a little cayenne pepper to it, but you'll like it. It's good on pork if you like pork.
So is it got a sweetness to it? You said you added cayenne pepper, so obviously you want to bring up some heat to it. But what can you compare it to, like, as far as some of the flavors that you get from it?
Man, I don't know. He doesn't tell anybody what's in it. I do know that it's got to have brown sugar in it. It seems like it's got a
sweetness to it. Okay.
But
so it definitely sounds like something that'd be good on like ribs and, like you said, pork and things like that.
Yeah, it's really orange, or that. So whatever is that, paprika?
Probably got paprika. Yeah, given that color.
I can see a little black specks in there, like there's pepper, probably
paprika, a little garlic, onion, maybe some turmeric.
It's really good. That's really unique and different than anything I've ever had. But I grew up eating it, so just wanted you to try it if you grill a lot still. But
still do, definitely.
That, and then did some picanhas the other night, which I let them ride a little bit too long before I set them on fire on the other grill after I was done on purpose, but did it a little bit too long. So
it happens.
Yeah. Maybe I was watching too much football, drinking too much beer. Who knows?
Oh man, well, there ain't nothing wrong with that. That happens from time to time. Yeah. So we got old Adam Robinson wants you to tell us about the Daylight Donut sponsorship, but Jose Cinco also says that I'm the Glizzy Grill Master. So Jose and them glizzies, he loves them. So
Glizzy Grillmaster.
Glizzy Grillmaster. But Adam Robinson wants to know, what is this Daylight Donut sponsorship he's talking about here?
So Daylight Donuts is here in Tulsa, their main office, and I'm just good friends with the guys. They're outdoorsmen. They like to support the sport, and they just support me as a professional angler. And, you know, we hang out every now and then. I think we're going to try to go to a football game here in a couple of weeks, go to Oklahoma State football game. So just off-season stuff, you know, like that. So, but yeah, just good fishermen too. And they love bass fishing and love to keep up with it. And yeah, it's just been a really good relationship since my first year on tour, which is probably going on about 12 years ago, somewhere around
Really?
there. Yep.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Been with them.
Really nice.
So yeah.
Talking about the season, I mean, we're coming up on the 30-minute mark. I didn't realize it got away from us that quick. But now, are you fishing Red Crest next year?
Yeah, so I was the last guy to squeak in. I turned it. It could have been a really bad season, AJ, but it's a really good season now.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know what? I don't care what Ricky Bobby says. You don't have to be first. You can be last as long as you get into Red Crest and have a good Red Crest.
It matters so much. It's just nice to be there for the big show, and just a lot of eyeballs on that. And it's a fun tournament, a lot of money at stake, and you know, it makes the off season a lot nicer. Like right now, you know, just sitting at home, doing stuff non-fishing related, knowing that I wouldn't be fishing, that would really put me in a worse mood than I am now.
Yeah. You need more beer and more barbecue to get out of that mood. So
I'd probably be punishing myself doing the opposite. You know, I'd be mad at myself, probably not celebrating. So just knowing me, but
fishing's tough, man. It is.
It is.
You're at the highest level of the game.
Yeah, I missed it last year, and this year it's going to Gunnersville, so it's going to be a fun fishery. There'll be a lot of people besides just the tournament. You know, there'll be a lot of anglers there fun fishing too. So just knowing that and navigating that and everything will be special in itself to that event, and it'll be fun to be there.
All right. So do you have anything that you're getting ready for coming up? Are you gonna? I know you said you're getting a new boat. Yeah, you're not really fishing much this year, but I'm sure you still go out and fish. I mean, I saw that you and Jose went fishing a little while back. And how'd you like Jose's tackle box that he had? That his special it wasn't a glizzy box, but he had some meats and some snacks and stuff. Did you even know that he had that until he actually filmed it and busted it out? Was that
like the video that you probably saw was all natural? That's the first time I saw it. And I was really hungry when he broke it out because, I don't know, I got a high metabolism. I ate breakfast that morning, but he broke that thing out at like 10:30 and it was time to eat.
Yeah.
And I started
like, dude, yes.
Yeah, I started devouring it. The snackle box.
The snackle box. Now, are you going to be creating a snackle box to keep with you? You know what? We've got to see a snackle box on tour next year.
Yeah, I can do that. And the cool thing with those boxes is they're waterproof, so your crackers get soggy. You don't have to worry about that. And you just don't want to leave them in there too long. They might get a little moldy or something, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, get you a fresh snackle box, put it down in the cooler with the ice. It's going to be cold. You know what I mean? You pop that open. Cheeses are going to be nice and snappy. Sausages, yes.
Make sure there's no treble hooks in there.
No, you got to – oh, here's Jose right here, the snackle box. Yeah, I mean, you got to – dude, and you got to give it – like let your cameraman reach in and grab some and take – dude, that would be – if we saw that on tour next year, dude, that would be bomb right there. That would be amazing. You got to make it happen.
I need to, for sure.
Shout out to KastKing and Jose with the snackle box.
Yeah, that was –
maybe have a glizzy in one of there. Like set it up to there's a glizzy.
Oh, yeah.
And me and Jose will be like, that's for us. That one's ours. So
we'll have to do that.
Excellent, man. Well, cool, dude. What else was I going to ask you? Oh, fall fishing. So you're in Oklahoma. I know we have a lot of West or East Coast people. Do you have any advice for people fall fishing on the East Coast? And do you have any advice for people fall fishing? I don't know if you do much West Coast bass fishing, but what would you have advice for people moving into the fall transition, depending on what side of the country they're on?
You know, all my experience fall fishing has really been in the Midwest and a little bit in, the Southeast, portion, and a little bit up north in September. After September, I've never really fished much up north. But just speaking for the Midwest and the Southeast in the fall, everything's dominated by bait and by shad or whatever it is they're chasing it, whether it be herring, shad, alewives, or whatever. It's just life is whatever those bait fish are doing for the bass, and it just seems like whatever you're doing, you really have to key in on knowing that, and they get to roaming on bait a lot. And some places, we have some dock lakes here and stuff like that, and they'll get under docks because those are good places, they're shallow and there's a lot of bait around and stuff like that. But a lot of times they're roaming, and they're not holding on structure quite as much, or they're holding around it, but they're really chasing stuff a lot. And it's topwater time in the fall. Topwater's May is a great topwater month across the country, April and May. And then also, September and October and November. And it could be a black buzz bait. It could be a white walking type bait. It could be a pencil popping type bait for those herring lakes. Those are really good things to key in on, is finding the right topwater and maybe having a couple of them tied on, especially this time of year. And, all day long, you can try that on and off, and just have you a couple of topwaters tied on to always try to key in on which one's the best for that fishery. Yeah, that's probably one of the main things. And then also, in the fall, I like to downsize and throw smaller shad baits, small crankbaits, small.
Yep.
And even that's kind of when I start throwing a smaller finesse worm a lot. And it seems like, I don't know what it is, but when fish or bass are keyed in on bait, they really, bite a shaky head well, or something small and slender like that. And that just seems to be a good finesse thing for, whether that be just a finesse worm or a whatever. And even just Texas rig, that's just a really good bait for dragging, this time.
Just slow drag.
Yeah, or target fishing with that, so then you're covering, the bottom of the water column, and then cover the top of the water column with the top water, and then the mid column of the, your swim baits and jerk baits. Those are two things that are good in the fall. A lot of people, kind of put the jerk bait down after early spring, but it's also really good in the fall when those fish won't eat a top water, but they're on bait, and it's a good way to, work it quick and catch a lot of fish doing that.
Okay. Now I got two questions for you. Now I know Doug is in California, and he's usually going fishing for bass. He just responded to largies but he wants to know, but he's going fishing tonight, California, full moon. What should he be throwing if you were in California? He's like over like in the LA side, like on that side of California. Full moon. What should he be throwing tonight if you were going to go? Just randomly, you're there.
Oh, I don't know.
He's like, I don't know.
I don't night fish a lot. I don't even know. I mean, I would imagine drop shot would probably be king, in a clear water desert California lake if I'm, by LA. But I don't know how well that works at night. I don't know. I don't know.
I agree with that. I'd say drop shot for Jose, even a Ned rig if things get tough.
Yeah.
Shaky head, or just a Texas rig ribbon tail worm. That's what I would throw. Yeah.
And maybe those fish probably slide up a little bit shallower than they are in the middle of the day. They probably hide from that sun and go deeper and then come up at night, I would imagine. You might be able to catch them on top water right now at night.
And that was going to be my second question, was for fall fishing, if you had to pick one topwater lure, what's it going to be for fall fishing?
For early fall, a walking bait.
Okay.
And that could be a Czar spook, a baby spook, the Super Spook Junior, or just like a Vixen, or any of those kind of this, cigar shaped walking baits. Later in the fall, probably a buzz bait.
Okay.
When it gets to about 62 degrees or 60 degrees where I'm from.
Okay. Now, would you throw a darker buzz bait or a lighter colored buzz bait? Now, granted, you're fishing in the day, not at night. I'm sure it all depends on water clarity, the color, the clouds and everything else. But
I think that the dark buzz bait works when they're on bluegill. That's my theory.
Okay.
They're eating bluegill, and those bluegill get up shallow. I've seen them do it, and they're almost black because they're suntanned. And I think the black buzz bait is a deal.
They almost just see that shadow, and they're like, "There he is."
Yeah, that's my belief. And then during the spawn, I use white and brighter colors. That's like the rule of thumb for me. And then sometimes in the fall, like earlier fall, white. I'll use white for sure. And it seems like I'll use white on cloudy days and black on sunny days.
Okay.
Also, that's another and that goes with frogging too. And I think it's just got a lot to do with them being able to see the bait really well. And because they're looking up at the sky.
Right.
They're just seeing either white or black, and you want to throw whatever stands out the best to them. I think white, black, chrome, clear are like the 4 colors you need on a top water bait, because they're really not analyzing. They're just making out the profile and making a quick decision.
Okay. See, I always like when I throw white, I always like to throw like a chartreuse trailer on there. I don't know.
Yeah. Especially
I just kind of like that little bit of a chartreuse on there. That was pretty good for me. So, but now I'm wondering, I'm like, are they even seeing the chartreuse after what you said? Like,
popper or something, they definitely are. If it's walking baits going slow enough, they probably are too. And if it's working, who cares?
Right. Exactly.
So
that works. Well, before I let you go, because we've definitely broke the 30-minute mark, and I know you got some things on your agenda you got to do, but you got a little bit of time before you get back to fishing, and you got a lot of honeydews to catch up on, and then some personal time. So before that happens, how can people follow you while you do your honeydews and then get back into tour and things like that? How can people follow you on social media, from TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, to whatever social media platforms you're on?
Just Instagram and Facebook, James Elam Fishing. And I'm about to start a TikTok.
There you go.
I need to figure out what my first video is going to be, but it's going to be a whole bunch of new frontier for me getting into TikTok. So I'm gonna have
maybe it's your snackle box.
Snackle box, yeah. Maybe.
I think that's what we're gonna have to give away. We're gonna have to give away a snackle. Well, it won't be a snackle box that I'm giving away, but it'll be a snackle box housing, the actual box itself without the snacks. You don't want me to preload the snacks in there, guys, and send it across the country. I don't think it'd be good. So, right on.
Yeah.
What's that?
I didn't even check to see if I think I asked Jose if they were good, because I was already shoving them, putting a cracker together.
You're like, are these actually good to eat right now? Or
I probably wouldn't double check. I just eat them if you send them to me.
I just put an expiration date on there. Please refrigerate after opening. So yes. So I like this one. Gail says, I'm here for the giveaway. Well, Gail, you got one. Gail, I don't know if you saw earlier, you won a giveaway. So make sure you message me a.j.gore, G-O-R-E, on Facebook Messenger. I'll get your information and get you some tungsten sent out your way of your choice from our website. So, Gail, I know you're here for the giveaway, but you won. You already won. So I'm not going to pick you again right now because you already won. I'm going to pick somebody new. But you know what? Let's go ahead. I'll go ahead and turn you loose, James, so that way you can go ahead and enjoy your evening. But I got to give some people a snackle box here. So
awesome. They're going to enjoy
all right,
it.
Ben. Hey, man, thanks for coming on. You have a good season. Good luck at Red Crest. I'm sure I'll talk to you before that, but kudos, man. Take a snackle box. Enjoy.
All right. We'll see you guys.
All right, man. Later. What a class act right there, man. James is such a cool cat. He's so cool. Love that guy. So, but you know what I know you guys love? You guys love giveaways. If we win, it's a bonus. What's going on here? I'd like to win. Yes, people are all putting it in their food good. Yes. All right. So, guys, what we're going to do is, I don't know if you guys saw the snackle box video. Let's jump over here. I'm going to share this page. Now, granted, let's do this. Share screen. Yes, we're going to do that. I want to not share my Amazon that I'm looking at mountain bike pedals on, but let's go over here. All right. So what we've got is the KastKing website. We're going to come on over to Tackle. We're going to go down to Mad Bite Terminal Tackle. And if you guys look down right here, got some stuff out of stock. But on the website right there, boom, tungsten is on our website. So, Gail, you actually can go to our website and check it out and pick out, well, we are out of stock on some stuff. So 1/8 ounce and 3/16 ounce packs. That's your choice. I guess we're out of stock on the other stuff. But that's in green pumpkin. Flat black, we have 16 ounce and 3/16, and then Galaxy Blue. It's wide open. I love the Galaxy Blue. It's real dark, still kind of has like black effect, guys. Galaxy Blue is wide open. So if you go Galaxy Blue, whatever you want, whether it's the 16th ounce all the way up to 1/2 ounce, let me know. So pick out what you want. Let me know, and I'll get that sent to you, Gail. Remember, it's A.J.Gore. I'm the guy in a straw hat holding up a fish. And hit me up on Messenger. We'll verify your account and who you are. I'll get all your information, get that sent out to you. But now that we've got that taken care of, let's take a look at Tackle. Tackle boxes right here. Here's what we're going to do. We need to give away a Snackle box. So we're going to give away one of these guys here, okay? So we're going to go into kit 1, okay, which is going to be one 3600 box and one 3700 box, and that's going to hook you guys up with your Snackle box. So all you got to do is once you get these is I would wash it first before I'd put food in there and eat the food. But there's all these removable sections. This is a waterproof guy here, so we're going to get it taken care of. This is what you're winning. AJ, let me know if you want to talk pedals. I've been through the ringer with them. Actually, you know what's funny is the pedal that I'm getting is the Fuker. I did not pronounce that wrong. Fuker. They're basically race face Chester knockoffs. They're 50% off right now on Amazon. So $20. Just bought my wife a new bike, which I have a little thing on Facebook on which bike she got. Did we go with the Norco? Did we go with the Kona? You guys check it out. Take a guess. Should have it unveiled by Friday or Saturday morning when it gets here. Had to order it. Shows up. It's supposed to be here Thursday. We're going to build it. They don't come with pedals. So I was going to put some really nice pedals on there. But then I found these Fuker pedals. I've heard a lot about them. They are a generic brand, mimicked exactly like, and they are a bearing pedal from what I understand, just like the race face Chesters. And we're going to throw those on there. They're $20, 50% off on Amazon right now. So I'm going to give that a try. So, all right. Anyways, that's what we're giving away, guys. We're going to give one of those away back to the Snackle box. So here we go. Let's give that away. And let's see, is it going to be a YouTube person or is it going to be a Facebook person to be the first person to jump out on me and stop? First one I see is going to be Patrick Feely. Patrick Feely, you won. So we got 2 Facebook winners. Guys, I'm sorry, YouTube. Womp, womp, womp. YouTube does not get hooked up tonight. And I apologize. I still love you, YouTube viewers. But if you guys are watching the rebroadcast, I'm going to give some giveaways next week off of this thread. So if you guys are watching the rebroadcast or you're watching live, you still have a chance to win, whether you're Facebook or YouTube. I'll probably do 2 giveaways. Just take a look at, make sure you're commenting. That is the main thing. Commenting, hitting like, hearts, things like that. Comments. And I'm going to randomly pick 2 winners from here. There will be a YouTube winner for sure. And who knows, might be some tungsten, might be another Snackle box housing, might be some line, might be a reel. You never know. I think my pen is leaking, my red pen. But anyhow, so Patrick Feely, we are going to get you set up and get you dialed in. I'm writing you down. Facebook, hit me up. And I'm pretty sure, Patrick, you and I are friends on Facebook. If you're not, now's a great time. Befriend me, send me a message on Facebook Messenger, a.j.gore, G-O-R-E, just like that is on the screen, and I'm going to get you. So this is tungsten, and you won the Hyper Seal box, a.k.a. Snackle box, and get you guys dialed in. So we're going to get your information verified, your address, your email, your phone number, and I'll get those winnings out to you guys. Guys, thank you very much for following us. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to have ourselves another great show next week. Some more. It could be a rod. Brandon Johnson, it could be. Maybe. I'll be honest with you, it would be a 2-piece rod because, A, I'm not going to give away a 1-piece rod, which they're usually more expensive, but they love to get broken. Like USPS. I do give them away from time to time, but I'm going to do a 2-piece, so it's more safer if I give a rod away because they're shorter. They come in a smaller tube, and they're less likely to get smashed. And I tell you what, USPS is notorious. FedEx does it. UPS does it. They still do it. But USPS, if you guys are watching, you're the worst for breaking rods, guys. You are. So, but if I do a rod, it'll be a 2-piece. All right. So now, guys, that's going to do it for me tonight. If you guys aren't following us on TikTok, check us out. Check out our TikTok shop on TikTok. It's under KastKing USA. Lots of great deals that are happening down there on TikTok. Jump over to Instagram. Check us out on Instagram. It's going to be KastKing USA as well as KastKing Community. Always be wary. There are those scammers out there that like to pretend to be us. They are not us. Don't get mad at us when somebody tries to scam you. I apologize, but let us know. We'll get them reported and get them taken out. If you're ever suspicious, hit somebody up from KastKing that you know is KastKing. Send them a screenshot of this person who might be a scammer. Find out if it's legit. We'll get you taken care of. And then, of course, if you're watching right now via Facebook or YouTube, you already know. Just make sure you're subscribed. Smash that notification button. That way when myself, Jose, Nikki, anybody from the KastKing community goes live, you know, and you possibly might get hooked up with your very own win. So, guys, that's going to do it for me. Have a great night. I hope you guys are all going to have a good weekend. Get out there and do some fishing, hiking, camping, whatever it may be. Fall fishing is upon us. It's coming. It's officially going to be fall here in about a week, I think, and we will get you taken care of. Yeah, Creed, I agree with you. USPS is definitely the worst. And yes, yeah, Tina, tons of scammers, nonstop, every day, everywhere. It's all you see. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, yes, Brandon Johnson, I agree. Too many rod tubes get bent and tore up and smashed. It happens. It's going to happen. Wait a minute. Robert Green, you're going on a cruise? You might still be able to get some Wi-Fi service. We'll see. We'll see if Robert Green makes an appearance next week. So, guys, that's going to do it for me. I'll see you guys next Tuesday night. Have a good night. And, guys, remember, Nikki's going live tomorrow night, and I believe she has Fluke Master on with her tomorrow night. So check that one out. It's always going to be a great show. Got to love those two. You guys have a great night. I'm out. See ya.